Hey guys, let's talk about where federal employees are paid the most money. Now, before I started working for the government, I thought that GS employees were paid essentially the same based on a pay scale, regardless of where they were located. However, I quickly learned that there are multiple GS pay scales for different regions across the country. A GS 11 in Los Angeles is paid a lot different than a GS 11 in Little Rock, Arkansas. The main reason for this is due to the dramatic differences of cost of living throughout the country. For example, a person living and working in rural Mississippi needs a lot less money to maintain a middle class lifestyle than a person, say, living in New York City. The extra pay that federal employees receive for living and working in high cost areas is called their locality pay, and it usually increases every year to keep up with the rising cost of each area. Now, to add even more confusion to that, each area increases at different rates. By looking at this map of the United States, you can quickly identify the areas highlighted in a light green color. These are the areas that have a higher cost of living than the rest of the country. And as such, a federal employee will be paid more money if they decide to work there. So, how does the government figure out how much to pay in each area? Well, the amount of locality pay is based on comparison from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, which uses the National Compensation Survey to measure non federal compensation in a particular labor market and compare it to a federal pay for GS employees who perform similar work in the same region. Currently, there are 53 GS locality areas. All other federal employees working in the U.S. are included in the rest of U.S., or sometimes known as ROS pay area. Now, before we get started, understand that for federal employees who are considering federal retirement, your highest 3 years, including locality pay, are averaged to determine your final pension. So some federal employees find it to their financial interest to physically pick up and relocate from a low cost area to a high cost area during their last 3 years in order to earn a higher pension. Okay, so for this example, let's consider a federal employee who is a GS 12 Step 4, whose regular salary in the US is $87,301 a year. The top 5 geographical locations that provide the highest salaries for federal employees are: number one, the San Jose, San Francisco, Oakland, California area, which has a locality pay of 42.74%, which for the GS 12 Step 4 equals a salary of $107,241. So regardless of what GS grade you are, you will make the most money working here. Number two, the New York, Newark area, which covers parts of New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, and Pennsylvania. This area has a 35% locality pay rate, which equals a salary of $101,471. Number three is the Houston, the Woodlands, Texas area. This area has a 33.96% locality pay rate, which equals a salary of $100,644. Number four, the Los Angeles, Long Beach, California area. This area has a 33.61% locality pay rate, which equates to a salary of $100,381. Finally, we have Washington, D.C., which covers the section of Maryland, Virginia, West Virginia, and Pennsylvania. This area has a 31.53% locality pay, which equals a salary of $98,818. Initially, it can seem rather alluring to pack up everything and to move to one of these high-paying locations, especially the San Francisco, San Jose area, because as a GS 12 Step 4, you would be making almost $20,000 more every year. And I'm pretty sure you can find plenty of ways to spend an extra $20,000 a year. Now, if you happen to be single with no kids or dependents, then you could potentially find a roommate or two to live with you, and you can actually consider moving to one of these high-cost areas in order to maximize your money while living way below your means in order to save a lot more money. I currently live in the Washington, D.C. area, and I have personally come across a lot of federal employees who either commute from far distances to be able to work here, or they share an inexpensive apartment with another employee nearby for 4 or 5 days out of the week, but their real primary residence happens to be 5 or 7 hours away, and they only go back home on the weekends, and sometimes their primary homes are so far away that they end up having to fly back on the weekends. I've also heard stories of some employees living in mobile homes with other people and even out of their own vans just to be able to take advantage of the higher salaries that locality pay can provide. Also, keep in mind that not all federal employees receive locality pay. Typically, SESs, senior level employees, and any positions that have a basic pay higher than the executive schedule level 4 do not receive locality pay. Also, keep in mind that the GS pay is not only for the United States, it is a worldwide pay system that covers more than 1.5 million employees from more than 400 occupations. So you will have to do your own calculations to find your specific locality pay rate based on your location and GS grade. I will go ahead and leave a link below for all the 2022 GS pay charts with locality pay. So, what do you think about locality pay system? Are there any ways that you would improve upon this system, or you think it's fine the way it currently is? Well, that wraps up my video on where federal employees are paid the most money in 2022. If you have any questions, comments, or if you feel like I missed something, please leave that down below. If you like this video, please click like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching.